Now we are in all of the fun stuff, and I can almost hear that sigh that says, finally. So this is the next slides. We're going to be going through how to record your content with confidence. Over the next few slides, we're going to be having a look at all of the features and effects that you can use within your content before you start recording. So what I would like you to do is either have your notepad and pen handy, or actually get your device, load up the app and get yourself onto the recording page. Now, we're not going to record content, so don't worry. What I want to do is just walk you through each of those symbols on the right hand side there, and all of the features and things that you can do before you start recording. So pause the video here, go load the app, get your pen and paper ready, and I'll see you back here. Okay, so now that we're on the recording screen, you can see it from the diagram on your screens now, as well as on your phone and device, or please make sure you're taking notes if you don't have your device with you. So the first one on the right hand side, let's just imagine that you've loaded up a sound, one that you've favorited and stored, one that you really want to use. That's all done. The top one in the right hand corner is your camera. This one's pretty self-explanatory because it is the same symbol that we would see on our own device camera, and that's to flip the camera either to front facing or world facing, depending on what content you're creating. If you wanted to do one where you're out and about and you're showing people the views, you want to record what a product looks like, for example, or anything like that, then you would have it world viewing. If you want it focusing on your face and you're dancing around and doing what you want to do with your content, then you would obviously have that forward facing. So like I said, pretty self-explanatory. So the next one down is speed. It will show like a little clock. That's your speed menu. So if you tap that, you will notice that some numbers pop up on your screen just above that big red button in the middle. And if you press it again, it will disappear. Now, this one is actually really, really important when it comes to creating your content, especially if you're not too confident with recording and you want to lip sync and you are worried about the song going and your mouth being out of sync with the music. Now, here's something that nobody really considers when it comes to lip syncing on TikTok. When recording artists create their music videos, so say a pop video, for example, and it's got really fast lyrics or it's quite a quick upbeat song, and you sit there and you think to yourself, oh my gosh, how are they able to keep up with the lyrics? The same when we see artists performing on stage for the same reasons. It can be very difficult to keep up with the songs. So sometimes some artists may be accused of lip syncing to their own song, especially if it's something quite quick and they're dancing around at the same time. So when artists record their music videos, when they are lip syncing, they're not lip syncing to the actual speed of the song. The song has actually been slowed down enough, and then when it's recorded, it plays back at the correct tempo. So it's really clever, isn't it? So what you'll find with the speed menu is it's always preset on 1 times. So that's the normal speed, the normal tempo of the song. If you're confident and you can keep up with lyrics, then go for it. I record in 1 times unless I'm doing, some fancy things with my content, and then maybe I may do a slow-mo or something. If I'm doing a transition, it will go into a slower recording tempo, but in general I record at 1 times. Now, when I first started using the app, all of my videos were recorded in 2 times because I struggled with lyrics. I struggled to keep up, and it looked really silly because the song would be playing and my mouth would be out of sync, and it would just look really, really daft. But we all have to start somewhere. We all start as a beginner, and a lot of people use the 2 times time setting, speed setting on their content. So find one that's comfortable for you. So, like I said, the preset setting will have it on 1 time, so that's the normal tempo. The next one along towards the right is 2 times, so that slows the audio right down. So what I would like you to do is, in a sec, I'm going to get you to pause this video where it's at. I want you to load up a song onto your record screen, and I want you to go to that times 2. I want you to hold down the record button just so that you can hear what happens to the audio that you're using as you're recording. Once that red tick pops up to say you've recorded enough content to be able to post, I think it's generally around 10 seconds, it'll give you a preview. Notice how it puts it back into normal tempo. So pause the video here, go and check it out. We're not going to be posting this content, by the way, guys. We're just having a play around. And then come back here and we'll go on to the next one. Okay, so hopefully you've had a play around and you're probably sat there thinking, oh my God, that is so smart. Because sometimes when we first go onto the app and we look at other people's content, and I know with the content that I post on social media, particularly in my Facebook posts and my stories, is a lot of people like, I wish I could record videos like that. I wish my TikToks were as good as yours. And people don't realize that a lot of my content I understand how the features and the settings work that allow me to be able to do that. So if you are seeing other people's content and it's causing you to feel lower in your confidence and thinking I'll never, and kind of comparing and doubting yourself, stop that right now. Now you get having a little bit of a telling off. It takes time and practice to navigate the app and get familiar with all of its settings and features and things. And I was once in your shoes. So the next one we have right at the very end, on the far right, is 3 times, which slows the audio even further to a point where if there's lyrics, will sound like RoboCop. So when you are recording your audio and you're lip syncing along to the words, you will be moving your mouth very slowly. So I also want to point out is, even though you are lip syncing in a very slow way, your body movements, you're blinking, for example, if you're dancing, if you want to create expressions, that also has to be in time with the music where it is slowed right down, because when it plays back, obviously your mouth is moving at the normal tempo and your body movements they will play back exactly the same. So you'll be moving around much, much faster. So again, if you want to see what I mean by that, pause the video here, go back to your recording screen or delete what you recorded on the 2 times and try it out in the 3 times and watch what happens. Move your camera. If you want to put it on world facing, go for it. If you don't feel comfortable doing that on the front facing camera, and just move your phone around and then watch the playback and watch how fast that recording then goes. So it's always be mindful that if you're going to be recording even in 2 times and 3 times, that if you're moving your body around in the normal tempo, it's going to be moving around much faster when you get a preview of that video. So at the other side, you have 0.5 times. So this is known as the slow-mo. So if you've seen people's content where they have the slow motion effect, where they're opening their eyes, I've done plenty of those ones, where they're opening their eyes really, really slowly and they have the gold glitter coming up on the screen and it just looks really, really cool. It's because of these 2 time settings here. So the 0.5 will speed up the original sound. So if you're wanting to lip sync and you're wanting it to be in a slow-mo, or you want to open your eyes dramatically and you want to be in slow motion, or these hair videos that we see, I know Des has put one on her stories and reels quite recently where she's showing her amazing hair after it had been done at the hairdressers, and that's done in a slow-mo to kind of emphasize how gorgeous her hair is. I'm totally not jealous. So that would be done in 0.5. Like I said, you have to remember you'll have to move your body faster, and you'll also have to lip sync quicker for it to play back in slow motion. So with the other two, so the ×2 and the ×3, it slows the audio down, so you move your mouth slower to the words, and it will slow down the sound. With 0.5 and 1, I think it's 0.1 or 0.3, it will slow it down even further, so when it plays back it will be in a super slow-mo. So pause the video here, have a play around with those time settings, and then come back here and we'll have a look at the other features in that list on the right hand side. So welcome back. So I'm hoping you've had fun with playing around with those speed settings. It is so cool. A lot of people don't actually realize when they're looking at people's TikToks and they've never made one or haven't had an account, that they generally are sat feeling very, very scared, thinking that they're not going to be able to do it. They don't realize it's because of those time settings that people are able to record the content that they do effortlessly and with ease. So the next in the list is the filters. So you'll see what looks like the 3 little circles. If you tap that, it will bring up different filter settings. So let's have a look at that. So there we go. It brings up filters across the bottom of your screen and you can swipe through them. You can also do this after you've recorded your content as well by doing the same thing, which is swiping to the left, and they each have a name, and you can just swipe through and pick the filters that you want to use. Obviously you can't see that on my screen, on the images here, because I've blacked out the screen. And then you also have, so let's just go back to the next in the list. You also have visual and face enhancement, which always sounds funny. So when you tap that, it will come up with smooth, teeth, contour, your eyes, eye makeup, and lip colour. So if you go through each of those, so the smooth will obviously smooth your skin out. I frequently use this one, but not on its 100%, because unfortunately I have really rather large paws, which I don't mind sharing with you guys. But if you do have any kind of body hang-ups or skin hang-ups like me, you can utilize the smooth filter, which I just smooth them a little bit so they're not as noticeable. If you're self-conscious about your teeth, then the tooth part of the enhance filters will allow you to brighten your teeth on your screen, so they'll go white. Please do be mindful not to have that on 100% and have the megawatt smile like Simon Cowell, because then it's very, very noticeable. Then we obviously have contour. So if you've always wanted to have your face contoured but you don't know how to do it with makeup yourself, then that filter or that visual enhancement is perfect. Again, each one has sliders on the intensity, so have a play around with those and have it on the front facing camera. It will allow you to mess around with the visuals and the enhancements before you've recorded, so you'll be able to reset them before you go ahead to record your content. Then you have eyes, so it has different coloured eyeshadows that you can pick, different intensity, ones that have eyelashes, ones without. Another little tip is be mindful if you're going to put your hands near your face, like near your mouth, near your eyes, or anything like that. These filters are going to show up the same way that kind of Instagram and the filters on Facebook Live and things do as well, is it will put those filters on your hands. So then everybody's going to know that you've got visuals on there. And the same with lipsticks. It has multiple different colours to choose from with the lipsticks as well. Okay, so now that you've had a play around with the features, or I hope you have, with the filters, the visuals, and just, having a bit of fun with that. The next part of this lesson that I want to look at is stopping and starting your recording. So this is great if you're going to do room changes, if you want to keep videos short, you want to change your clothing, style changes, and this one is often used for the funky transition videos that you see where the camera like spins and people like pop out of the video and then appear back in it. But because this is a TikTok in business for beginners course, we aren't going to be going into transitions, but that is something that I can do. However, YouTube has a wealth of how-to tutorials for transitions, particularly for TikTok. So the stop and start for your recording. So in the menu on the right hand side, you will see a little clock, another little clock that's similar to the speed menu, with a little number at the side of it. So that's your timer. So you can set to have a timer. Generally, the preset is 3 seconds, so it'll count down from 3, and then there is also the option to have that a little bit longer and have it from, I think, 5 seconds. So when you tap that and you want to use a timer, you click it, and then what happens is this screen will show up. So it'll have the toggle for the amount of time that you want to have before the content starts to record. So you can toggle between that. It will also bring up the sound bar for the sound that you've chosen. Remember from earlier that I explained how to snip a song to start from a certain point. So if you've done that or you're wanting to start the sound from the beginning, it will come up either way into a sound bar. So what you're going to be able to do is if you want the music to stop at a certain point, so say you don't want to use a full minute worth of a sound, or you don't want to use the full, say 30 seconds, you just want to do something that's 10, 15, 20 seconds. What you would do is on the diagram, you can see like a little red line through the sound bar. The blue represents the music's actually playing, and the red bar is for where you want that music to stop instead of continuing on. So what you would do is hold your finger on the red bar and you would drag it to where you want the music to stop and the recording to stop. So if you want only say 10-15 seconds, then you will drag it to the left. If you want to record more of the audio but you don't want the full amount, then you would drag it to the right. What it will do is it will highlight where you can see it highlighted in blue. It will automatically start playing it and it will stop at that certain point so that you know you're stopping at the right time. So it may take a little while to get used to that one, but wherever the red bar is stopping, the preview of the music will stop so that you know you've set it to the right place. It will also have the amount of time on there as well, just above the red line. So say you want to record 10.4 seconds of the audio, you would then bring it to the 10.4 second mark and it will highlight it. And then you just press the button below it, which will then start your timer. Like I said, 3 or 5 seconds, it will start your timer off before your recording starts. So what is next? We will also be taking a look at the little green box on the left and the little landscape box on the right on either side of the record button there.